Welcome, everyone. I don't know if that's how the intro is going to go, but for everyone here today, thank you ever so much for joining us. This is a new pod. We don't know what we're doing. We're making this up as we go along. You are on the journey with us. So basically, this podcast. My name's Mark. We've got Ryan over there. If you're not watching this, I pointed to my left, his right. And basically, what this pod is about Reading Football Club. Not only about that, but we'll also be talking about sports, any sport in general that comes up. Wrestling, I will probably have a rant about wrestling sometimes because I'm a massive wrestling fan. As you can see, I've got Jake Roberts top on. If you can't see, I've got a Jake Roberts top on. And not only that, we're just going to be talking general stuff as well at the same time. What we're going to be doing today is just introduce a little bit about ourselves. And then we're going to have a little talk about the Reading v Middlesbrough game. And then after we've spoken about the Reading v Middlesbrough game, we're going to talk about some of the talking points that have happened since then. And then the game against Blackburn this Saturday. So, I have been a season ticket holder for 15 years plus, maybe, or even give and take. I've been through majority of the highs and lows of what's going on. Massive Reading fan, you probably know that by now. I love sport in general. I watch anything if anything's going. But for me, I've got a family. Not that you lot care, but I've got one of them. And what's sort of making me start this pod with Ryan is basically we see a lot of people, the Reading community, not going to name who, that do podcasts, still not going to name who, for legal reasons. I don't want a lawsuit. Talking and utter rubbish. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a lot of guests coming on as well. Some of you will probably know who they are. We've got a few people who we're going to try and get on the pod, Reading people, fans. We're going to get fans on the pod as well to have a rant with us as well. We're going to get players. We're going to get as much as we can, as much content, at least once or twice a week. Maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, depending on how angry me and Ryan get after a game, depending on the situations of what's going on. But there will always be a pod every week. There will always be us talking, and there will always be Ryan winding up Birmingham fans. So if you're a Birmingham fan and you've come along to this pod to listen to a sport, welcome. I'm not going to laugh at you anymore. And I'm going to let Ryan now go and talk about himself. Ryan.
Yep, so I'm Ryan. I'm 22. I've been season ticket holder probably about 10 years in total. I've been going since the 2004-2005 season, but I stopped with my season ticket due to work commitments when I was 16, and then I go as much as I can, which is quite often nowadays. So big Reading fan. I'll show you a bit like around my room. I've got a bit of memorabilia dotted about, shirt above the TV. Also quite keen on darts, F1, boxing, just all sport in general, really.
I love a bit of Formula One.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. But I could talk for hours about different sport, and I just know pointless things about football, just random. Yeah, you don't. Something that you don't need to know, you just do.
Oh, I think everyone's like that, and that's the best thing.
Yeah.
So, let's discuss Middlesbrough, shall we? Let's discuss. So, my thinking before the game was, it's Neil Warnock. Can't stand him. I hate him with a passion. Have to beat him. He hasn't lost. Please quote me if I am wrong. As well as I just want to point out that we are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. YouTube, there will be videos going up with the pod as well at the same time as when the pod gets released. We're still trying to work out. We've got a pod that we're going to be using. TikTok we're using to broaden our horizons and try and get a little bit more viewers in as well. And come and listen to the pod. Twitter, just come. We've got a hashtag ROBG1. use that hashtag to come and send us any of your questions or anything that you want us to answer on the pod. Anything else? So, back to the Middlesbrough.
I think that sums it up.
It's what I saw bits of the game because my future father-in-law has opened up his second pub in Newbury. So I went there for a private opening, got, I wouldn't say drunk, slightly tipsy, got a bit merry on the old alcohol. Been in lockdown, haven't had a drink in about 3 months, 4 months, and yeah. So I saw bits of it. I had it on my phone when I was there, saw bits. And a lot of the comments that I saw and it was Puscas. And there's a lot of debate about him this season. So Ryan, what do you think of him, and what do you think? What is your thinking about Puscas?
I have to say, I do think he has got the ability. He's shown he's capable of absolute magic in regards to that 5-minute hat trick against Wigan, and then that probably goal of the season contender at the very least, right at the beginning against Cardiff when we beat them 3-0.
Beautiful goal.
You always see it's his first season in such a competitive, high-paced league, and his first time in English football, probably his first time in England. I don't know if he's played a game in England before or not.
No, so the only place he's played is please quote me if I'm wrong with Twitter, please tweet me or put in the comments as well, is he played for Palermo or Parma in Italy, and then he was at Inter Milan, then got loaned out again, but he's never played anywhere outside of Romania and Italy, to my knowledge. I could be wrong.
Yeah. And then also seeing a bit of him during the under 21s Euros, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And
destroyed England.
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he may even have been the only non-Spanish and another country. He was the only player that wasn't from that country to get in the team of the tournament.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that. That's amazing.
I'm not 100% sure if I am saying that right.
Puscas' career is he started at Liberty, and then he went on loan, and then he was sold to Inter Milan in 2013, and he played 4 games in total for them between that time. But he had 3 loan deals in between then as well. And then he went to Palermo, where he played 33 times and got 9 goals. His Reading stats this season, according to Wikipedia, just could be wrong, is that he has played 35 times, 11, maybe 12. I think they haven't counted one of the goals, 12 goals this season. So, my theory on Puscas. £10 million striker who hit the ground sort of running, and then it didn't go very well back to plan. And the issue that I have is he's not a lone striker. Let's be honest.
Definitely not.
He is not a lone striker. And what are we doing? Lone striker. He needs someone to run off him. All right. Prime example for how much he is not a lone striker, Luton. He had Mite next to him. Mate, whatever you want to call it, next to him, basically nearly the whole game. Got 2 assists and a goal, I think it was, in that game. Probably, and Mite got 4 goals out of all of that. And then what does he do? Then what do we do after that game? Put no one next to him. The issue I have is I get where people are coming from. Gareth, I know you're listening, and I'm pointing this directly at you. Where they go that he missed so many one-on-ones. I get that. I completely understand. If he scored the majority of the goals during his time here, Gomez, the most beautiful God-given man on earth, would still be here. But the issue that I have with what's going on is he's got the most goals in a season for a striker in one season since, I think, Adam Lafondra in 2013. I think I saw Talk Red input on. And he's in his first year where he's never played outside of Italy. And he isn't good on one-on-ones. He's terrible at one-on-ones. That's why he needs someone with him to do the extra leg work that he doesn't do. He is the Emmanuel Adebayor of the Reading team. Adebayor was a good striker, could never play on his own, and he liked to annoy every single fan he wanted to play against. Puscas can do it. He hasn't got the supply or the help. And I saw, and this is where my rant is now going to go on to Mark Bowen, and I want to get what your take on this as well, where I saw him and the guy from BBC Berkshire say that he's not happy with Baldock or Puscas because they're not doing what João does. No, because they're not João. You've got to play to your players' strengths, right? Every manager has a preferred formation. Absolutely. But you have to play to your strengths of your best players. Build a team around them. He's just decided to shove Baldock up front on his own. He ain't a lone striker. You've got... that's the thing that I don't get. I completely disagree with Bowen there, where he said they're not living up to the way that João is. João's injured. João's not there. Get over it. We need to get the next person in. Why? All right, this is a question for you, Ryan. Why is Bowen not giving them an extra striker? Why is he trying to dictate his own play, which, let's be honest, we're not being creative as much as what we were under Gomez at all. We're very much, and Ryan will tell you the stat in a second against the Middlesbrough game that shocked me. Why is he not doing the strengths of Puscas? And why do you think it's easy for them to blame him?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know why he is trying to play him in that lone striker role, because it's very clear that he's not a lone striker.
Mm.
As I said before, he's shown moments of absolute magic where he's done things, but how many of them has he been a lone striker for? I'm just going to have a look at his season stats now, in terms of goal contributions, so bringing assists into it as well, because he got a couple against Luton the other week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's now 14 goal contributions in the league this season.
What is that, including goals?
Yep, 11 goals and 3 assists. So
15.
Yeah,
So 15.
14. Sorry.
No. Right.
11 and 3.
Okay.
But I'd like to see, out of them 14 goal contributions, how many times he was played as a lone striker. Because to my opinion, I would probably say maybe 3.
I think the Wigan game he was on his own, and I think that might have been it when he had that 5-minute wonder against him. And
did he start that game, or did he come off the bench?
No, he come off the bench.
Bench.
To my knowledge, he come off the bench. I think João was up top on his own at that point, and then he come on to support him. And then McCleary, I'm not getting to McCleary because I've gone a 40-minute run. That's for another pod. That will be for later on when the season's finished. We're going to do a pod about players we currently got, who we should keep, who we should sell. That could be a very long pod. We're also, so be aware of that one. So match stats against Middlesbrough. You said an interesting stat earlier. Please tell the viewers what you just told me.
I will get it back up now. So we had slightly more possession, which as far, in my opinion, is a very Reading thing to do. We do tend to have quite a bit of possession, but do nothing with it. So in the 90 minutes, plus stoppage time, obviously, we had 10 shots against Middlesbrough, 1 on target. The other one,
that one on target was the goal.
Yeah, I would guess so. Also, if I scroll down the page a little bit, we had 114 attacks. I don't know what they deem as an attack on here, but that is the exact same number as Middlesbrough, 114 as well. And 40 of these were dangerous attacks. Again, I don't know what they say, dangerous attacks. And the further you go into it, we've had more passes. So we're good at keeping the ball, but that's it.
Yeah. And do you know
It's
what?
almost like we have...
If you look at the games that we've won since the restart, is we have no possession. Charlton. Luton, we had hardly any possession against Luton and smashed them 5-0. We had hardly any possession against Charlton because they were just pumping the ball into the box, and McIntyre was just an absolute beast that day.
Yeah.
We did with that. So I think, in theory, coming to conclusion to our rant about the strikers and about the attackers, is Bowen is talking out of his arse. And he's just trying to pinpoint a blame onto something that doesn't even need. And pundits, right? I'm not going on a rant on this, but BBC Berkshire, if you're listening to this, you're finding out now how bad your commentators are. They don't even get them. Anyway, I'm not getting into that because it's just painful. So, what I would like to discuss as well is. All right, so Ryan doesn't know this, but I've got 2 questions that I'm going to ask him quick fire. So he's getting worried now. Will Swift be here next season? Yes or no?
In my opinion, yes. I believe he will, because I do think that he does have a genuine connection with the club. And when you've got that kind of connection, also, I think he understands the rebuild, what's happening and what needs to happen. And he knows that he is going to be a very important part of that.
Okay. My opinion? No. Controversial opinion here. I might annoy a lot of Reading fans here. He's only had 1 good season, in my opinion. This season's been his brilliant season. Inconsistent for the past 3, 4. Very inconsistent for the past 3, 4 years. Good player this year. A good player to the end of last year when Gomez come in. You can see Gomez wanted Swift to be that vocal, that main figure behind everything, which I get, and I get where he's coming from. Leeds are interested. 10 million plus sell-ons. Done. I think he'll go. I think it doesn't matter, and I think he knows Kelvin Phillips as well. Kelvin Phillips from Leeds as well. I think if it's anyone in the Championship, no, he'll stay. Premiership, he'll go, and then I think the owners will know wages, money. He'll be gone. Okay, another question. Liam
Sorry,
Moore.
I'm gonna go back to the Swift one
Go on.
because you said it's a controversial opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually speaking to one of my friends about him last night,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't say this has been his only good season, because the playoff season, I thought he was superb that season, but
He was on and
it
off.
comes back to it. Yeah, okay, come back to that. And then at the end of that season, he went away with, I think it was England under 21s at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then he come back and he got injured. And this is his first season where he's been that player as he was before. And
I agree to a certain extent. I think he's been good in patches in seasons. Yeah. He's been very good in patches. The thing that I think with him is he hasn't done the 38 game or the 30 game consistent trying to produce like he's done this year. I think he's been quality this year. I'm not denying he has not been good whatsoever. I'm saying he's had 1 good year, £10 million plus what's going on with COVID and the monies and everything.
The question for that, though, is would they pay £10 million for him?
No, I don't know. I hope they do. I saw someone on Twitter the other week, a few weeks ago, when Sheffield United come in for him, and they said if we accept anything less than £15 million, this club is a disgrace. Completely disagree. You've got to think about the climate that we were in before has now changed.
Yes.
completely changed. We've got the transfer windows now going from the 27th of July to October. I think the season starts in September the 5th. It was provisionally booked in as September the 5th. I think if we get the money, I think he'll go. If we don't, I think with my next question, it lead into another one. Liam Moore, stay or go?
I think go. It's shown since the restart he's not been half as good as what he's capable of. And again, I'm gonna go with a bit of a controversial opinion, but I don't think he is as good as we make him out to be. Of course, he makes brilliant tackles and everything, but how many of them tackles have come from his mistakes or bad positioning where he's had to make up to recover it? I would say he's been a solid player in a very, very poor team. And that shows with the last 3 years, what our highest finish is, 17th?
I think so.
It's around that, but it's not a good finish. So I think he's been a decent player in a very, very, very poor team. And in terms of that, I don't know what his wages are, but I can't imagine him being on less than £30,000 a week, especially when there was interest from Brighton before. For that money, I would rather us go and get another young centre-back, another Michael Morrison even. Get someone there to help bring players through the academy. Look at like what John O'Shea done last year. Come in for his final season, and now it's a very important part of the coaching team. And I would like to see something similar happen with Michael Morrison as well.
I think my opinion on Moore is he's like the Liam Kelly of the Reading team. Liam Kelly stood out like a sore thumb because he was in such a poor team. And now look, he got sold to Feyenoord, then got loaned to Oxford, where he just come on as a second half sub in the playoff. Didn't play the first leg, come on the second half sub in the second leg in the second leg, but he come on in the final. Moore is a brilliant player, right? Moore is a very good player. And I saw an opinion the other day that I understand when they say, I do, viewers, what you'll need to know is every day at 5 o'clock, I tweet out a picture of a former player, current player, former manager, also from any time, and I ask everyone to vote, retweet, like, and give me an opinion on that player. And I saw an opinion that caught my eye when someone said, he's a good player, but he would be even better if he had someone in front of him that would help. And it got me thinking, right? What would that team be if Pele and Reno were playing every single week in front of Moore and Morrison, like they did for McIntyre and Morrison when they kept their 3 clean sheets in a row? What would it make any difference? Or would it make any difference?
I think it proves it by that little run we went on over Christmas. It was in the build up. It was just before we lost to Millwall. But I think we went for a stage where we conceded 1 goal in about 8 games, and that 1 goal was Fulham away when we beat them 2-1. I think it was. So also going on that as well, I saw the stat about Raphael keeping, I think, is it 13 clean sheets?
Yeah.
I know that is because he is an incredible keeper, as you've seen by the triple save he made against Fulham and other saves he's made.
Yeah.
But your defence is a very important part of that as well.
Yeah.
And we've shown Moore is capable. Moore is a fantastic player. But again, it's kind of like what I said about John Swift. He's a good player in a poor team. Yeah. In regards to the Swift, I would say give him another season with a team that should be pushing on for the playoffs, and then see what he does. Because if he's been as good as he's been this season in a team that's looking bang average, mid-table, like, it's truly forgettable.
Okay.
So give him a season in a solid team and see what he can do then, because I think he would be absolutely incredible.
Okay, so I've got a stat here that I saw the other day from Jonathan Lowe about the same amount of games between Gomez and Bowen, right? So Gomez, they had the same amount of games. So Gomez had 38 games. He won 9, drew 14, lost 15. Bowen, in the same amount of time, has won 14, drawn 12, lost 12. You can see the difference in play style. You can see the difference in mentality. But is there a big difference? Because if you look at that stat, we've only lost three more under Gomez. Under Gomez in the 38 games, right? I understand when people criticise Gomez, right? I get it. I'm biased because I love the bloke, right? I'm going to be honest. I love the bloke. I think he's brilliant. Just everything about him. And he did wonders in Portugal as well. People need to remember as well, when he's gone back to Portugal, the team that he just took over were threatened for relegation, and he's made them safe with 4 games to go. He's done wonders as well in Portugal, and they were nearly favourites to go down.
He done the same thing with us last season. We were in awful position.
Do you think Gomez is the Sam Allardyce of relegation battles, or has Bowen? What is the difference?
I don't know. I honestly don't know enough about Jose Gomez and what he's done before or after Reading to say, is he the Sam Allardyce? Because obviously we all know Sam Allardyce is a manager that you want to come in to keep you up.
Him and Warnock.
Yeah, but based that on what he's done at Reading, and I would have to say yes. Bowen, I remember when he come in, he said that he wanted to make us a more physical team and sort of become less of a pushover club, really. I think it must have been the Fulham home game where we got absolutely battered on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
That would have been when we got beat 4-1 and John Swift got sent off.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I remember... Yeah, let's not talk about him. But I remember him saying we want to be more physical and we need the mentality to go like, oh, we've got Reading this weekend, easy win.
Yeah.
We want teams to come here and know that we've got a game. And I'll go to another stat. And I think we would be third from bottom on the home table this season. And I'm looking now, if we only played away games, we would be 8th. So what's the difference between home and away?
Yeah, that was one of the questions I was going to ask as well before today as well, was what they can't blame the fans for being negative, which we are. Let's be honest. Our home fans, right? And I know you're not listening out there, and I can be sometimes as well, but I've got older and I got a bit more, I don't know, less aggro anymore. But it's not the home end. And I've just seen a stat that just got published right now. And it said no player in the Premier League or Championship made more tackles than Michael Elise this week. He made 6.
I love him.
Our attacking midfielder has made more tackles than our defenders. Anyway, than anyone in the Premier League or Championship, which is an amazing stat. And talk Reading, if you're listening, keep it up. Absolutely brilliant. I love your Twitter page and everything about it. So it can't be the home fans. It's not that. It can't. Majority of the time it is, but I get it. So what do you think it is? Why they're not winning at home?
I honestly don't know. Like I'm stumped to it because there's truly no difference at the moment. There's no fans at the home ground, no fans at the away game. Sorry. I did hear during the commentary at the Middlesbrough game as well. I think Tim Della said another pointless thing of his, but we haven't won at a ground since the end of lockdown where they've had fan noises played through the tannoy. So why are we playing it? And I know it's going to split opinions, but I, for one, can't stand it. I don't
can't.
like it.
I turn it off. When I watch the Premier League, I turn it off. I do the no noise. It just annoys the hell out of me.
And let's be honest, who doesn't like to hear a player's reaction to a crunching tackle? It's fantastic.
Or hear a manager shout at the players is even funnier.
Yeah, exactly. But I honestly don't know what the difference is between playing at home or away. Is it like there shouldn't be any? No. Maybe it's the other team's mentality, but I can't imagine it being that.
It's a difficult one, and I don't really know the answer. It's one of those where I think this question needs to go to Bowen and ask him, what is the mentality? How do the players react differently to when they walk into a dressing room in the home game to when they walk to a dressing room in the away game? What is their mentality when they walk in? Do they feel like when we were at home, this would be easy, we're at home, they don't let off the steam, and when we're away, they know that they have to work 3 times as hard because they're in an away ground.
But going on that shouldn't be the case anywhere.
Oh, God, no.
That level should be maintained whether you're playing against, I don't know, let's say Yeovil Town in the FA Cup or Man City away. Like that's a problem. Like talking about Man City, that like we should like relate to that a bit in the sense it must have been Guardiola's second season, but he said the players' mentality wasn't right in the sense that they would go into games thinking, oh, easy win this. And you should never look at that. Like, you should be fired up regardless of who you're against. And it doesn't look like the hunger's there.
The hunger's there at away game.
Yeah.
Hunger's there at away game, and you could see that. It's not there at home. So I don't know. It's one of those topics that I would like to hear you guys, you out there, put in the comments, in the YouTube comments, tweet us, me and Ryan. You'll see it in the link on the Twitter as well. Come and follow us. Send us what you think. We'll retweet everyone. If you come and follow us for the next 2-3 months, what we're going to do is anyone that follows us for the next 2 months, we're going to follow you straight back. We want to try and get our name out as much as we possibly can, and we want to get you guys interacting with us. I'm looking at a way of making sometimes these videos go live for you guys so we can have fan interaction as well. So you guys can ask us questions and we can answer them as well at the same time. So moving on, we've got a lot more topics we can discuss over the next few weeks. We've got summer transfer window. We've got going through the transfer. We're going to have a good one next time where we're going to talk about current players. During the week next week, who should stay, who should go. Ryan didn't know that. He will know that now. So we're going to get a list out and we're going to go through the players that we have and we're going to go and talk about that. So,
just to stop you there, I believe this time next week we will have just played the last game of the season. Yeah, Swansea at home, isn't it?
So this is how we're going to do the pods for Ryan and for everyone else. Is before a game we're going to do this sort of pod. We're going to discuss the week leading up to the game, and we'll discuss the game as well. We're also going to do a pod after the game as well, where we will discuss the game just to get our thoughts. It's not going to be a long pod. We just want to get our views straight after, so it's raw and we can feel the emotions of what's going on. And then we will do that before and after games. And then when it's off time, we will do it once a week, midweek. We will do it maybe on a Thursday, maybe Friday. We'll see how we go. We'll see the demand from you lot. This is what we need you lot to come and help us. Right. So, last couple of questions before we end the first episode of this brilliant pod to rival all pods and poddy. I've never said pod so many times in one sitting in my life. Blackburn. Go on then. What do you think is going to happen on Saturday? All right. Formation. Is he going to stick with what happened against Middlesbrough, or is he going to change it?
I think there's two different questions there. Should he and will he? Should he? Yes. Will he? No.
So I'm looking at the table now. Blackburn, everyone's now played exactly the same amount of games. At the moment, Blackburn are 4 points ahead of us in 12th. They're on 60 points. They've got a goal difference of 3. I like Blackburn. Actually, no, I've scrapped that. I don't like Blackburn, the area, because Blackburn fans, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. I like Tony Mowbray. The guy is just one of those managers. He's like a Roy Hodgson. He's one of those managers where if he turns up at your club, you go, yeah, all right. Don't mind that. I don't mind that. He can come and do a little bit of a rebuild, get it right, get it all sorted, and turn the club around. And he's just one of those who just doesn't. He just turns up, does his job, don't really hear much about him, and goes home. So I don't know much about Blackburn. I'm just looking at their fixtures that they've been playing. The last game that they played, they lost 1-0 to Millwall at Millwall. They also, the game before that, drew 1-1 against West Brom. Reason I'm looking over here, if you're watching the video, is because my phone and stats are on over it. The game before that, they beat Cardiff 3-2. And then they beat Leeds, beat them 3-1. They lost to Barnsley 2-0. And they lost to Wigan. I said Wigan before. There's West Brom, sorry, when they drew 1-1. And they lost to Wigan 2-0. So their run of form is they've won
inconsistent.
Yeah, they're very much us. They're very much in the same boat as what we've been doing this season, but they have a much better fan base than us. So the team that we had before is we played a 4-2-3-1 by my knowledge, right? I'm just getting it up here if I can get it right. When did we play? Monday, was it Tuesday? Tuesday against Middlesbrough. So the lineups we had, we were playing a 4-1-4-1. So we had Raphael, Osso, Morrison, McIntyre, Blackett, Moore, CDM, which I think if he stays needs to play there. Mite, Reno, Swift, Ulysses or Elise, however you want to do it, or Puscas, or if you're Tim Della, Pushkish, how you want to pronounce it. So he was playing a 4-1-4-1. Do you think he's going to stick with that team, or do you think he's going to change it?
To be honest, I do like the Liam Moore as a defensive midfielder playing just in front of McIntyre and Morrison. Mm-hmm. I could see him making a couple of changes. I would like to see a lot of youth get involved. Just like we are bang average. We're mid-table. We're not going. We couldn't go any higher. We can't go any lower, really. Well, we can, but it's not going to make a difference. No. This, in my opinion, it's got 0-0 written all over it. Yeah, neither team have got anything to play for.
I was thinking that. I was literally, it would just be one of those 7-7s that just turn up out of nowhere. Yeah. They both decide, we just want to score and just can't be asked to defend. I completely agree with what you're saying. I think you should change the formation. I think you should keep with the 4 at the back, but I think you should drop Blackett and put Richards in. I think so. My starting 11 would be Raphael, Osso, Morrison, McIntyre, Richards. Then I have Moore at CDM because I think he needs more games to play there. And if on his wage, you might as well play him anyway. We've only got 2 games left. And then I would have Reno and Swift in the middle. I would drop Mite. Controversial opinion. I don't think he's that good. I think that fluke against Luton, and if you can see the games since he's played since then, hasn't done anything. Good player, lovely bloke. Met him in Club 1871 when he come and joined us. Beautiful man. built like a brick house. I'm telling you, it scared the living hell out of me. And then up top, I would have Puscas, and then I would have Maziga, and I would have Boy. I would
like to see Boy play.
I hear, and I see a lot of people where players talk about Instagram questions on there, and they ask questions about players, and the majority of them say Boy has got potential. Why are we not bloody using him? And I know we had COVID, and I know that there was a slow way of coming back. I get that. But I want to see Ulissi will be dropped to the bench. I think he's so much better in the central midfield with Swift, but I think we need Reno there. Just because if Swift leaves, Ulissi 100% needs to take over. Him and Nigeria need to help each other and work that out as well. I want to see Maziga play 90 minutes. He only plays 5 at the moment, and that's being generous. And I want to see Boy as well. I want to see him go. I want to see Puscas get another chance. If it's not Puscas, then has to be Baldock. But I'm not a big fan of Baldock. But I think he's a very good player if he has someone with him. And it's the same with Puscas as well. But I feel like if you've got Maziga and Boy, who are quite fast, I think Boy looks quite quick, and Maziga looks like a bloody shitty rocket going at more than 90 miles an hour. And if you have them coming down the wings just to knock it out to him so they can cut inside and help, I think that would be a good way. Score prediction, I think 2-0 Reading. Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? I said that, and I don't even think I agree with myself. I don't even agree with myself. Right, go on. You go. You tell me what you think your start on the 11 will be.
So I can see a few changes. I agree with you with Blackett going out. Honestly, I could see Osho being dropped based on the amount of game time that he's had. Just give him a rest. Because that was Middlesbrough his 3rd or his 4th game in a row. I believe it was his 3rd.
No, because he played
Luton.
He
played Huddersfield.
He played the one before Luton as well.
Okay, so it's his 4th game in a row, and that will be his 5th game in. Well, it'll be less than 21 days.
Yeah,
it'll be 2.5 weeks. So I could see Osho being rested. I'd like to see McIntyre and Morrison, and I think that will stay the same. I agree with you with Elise, and he should be in centre midfield. I was going to just touch on that. I think our problem in midfield is we've got Swift, Ajaria, and Elise, who are
exactly the same player. Yeah.
And you can't have them in the midfield together. Nope. That's why you need Reno there with whoever's playing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Boye play. I went to the replay against Blackpool in the FA Cup, and I thought he had a fantastic game.
Okay.
And he, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I believe his contract is up at Torino at the end of the season.
I see conflicting. I see that we're being told that we have to pay for him, and then I'm being told that he has no contract coming up, but then we still have to pay for him when his contract... What? Surely if your contract expires, you're free. But then if you're under 21, then you get compensation like we are for Danny Loader whenever... And one piece of word on him, good on him, for leaving. I think the club absolutely treated him utter rubbish. And he'll be another one that got away. He'll be another one like Fozu, Tarek Fozu, that's gone to Brentford now. And he's another one like Jack Stacey, that's at Bournemouth now. And I feel like the way that we never played him in his right position, we never helped him out. And he just went, I need to do what's best for my career. And he's gone. So for me, good on you, my friend. I've completely lost what rant I was going on. But yeah.
Lucas Boye.
It's something about him I really, really like. I really like him. And with his contract, I haven't got a clue. Whatever happens, happens. I don't know whether he's going to stay. I don't know whether he's going to go. if he's going to stay, he needs to start playing now because it's going to be a very short pre-season, or there's going to be hardly to no pre-season for the start of next season. So he needs game time, and they need momentum now. Bowen shouldn't. Another, I'm going to go off on one now. Shouldn't have extended those loans and shouldn't have extended those contracts to any of them. I said Obita before. I rescind that because I've seen him and I love Obita and I want him to be a one-man club. I want him to be the Ryan Giggs of Reading, right? I want him to do that. He is not up to scratch since his injury, and I didn't know what I would think. I didn't think he would be back the 100% of what he was the player before because of such bad knee injuries the surgeries he's had, and I get that. But that's for another time. But I hope he does stay, but I don't think he will. So boy, I hope he stays. So who would you have on the other wing and up front?
On the other wing, so to be honest, I don't even know. I wouldn't mind seeing a change of formation and have sort of a 4-1-2-1-2 kind of thing with more
like
playing just in front.
Diamond.
Yeah, with more playing just in front of the back four. Reno and Swift holding, and then have an attacking midfielder.
Who would you have?
Even Ejaria if he's fit.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I think that role would perfectly suit Elise.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd like to see a front partnership of Puscas and Boye.
Okay.
Because as an out-and-out striker, I thought he was superb against Blackpool.
Okay.
I know it's Blackpool is a little bit different, but
so score
give him a chance. 0-0. It's just a nothing. It's a nothing game.
I really thought when you were going to read out that team that you would come up with something different.
No, it's one of them where I think we will go for it, and if we do go for it, I'm going to say 3-1 win.
Okay.
But
pretty cool.
Again, I wouldn't be surprised because neither team has anything to play for. I think Blackburn may be in with a long shot at playoffs, but it's not. They've got next to no chance.
Yeah, it's a bit like us.
So, yeah, but I don't think either team will turn up. Like their heads will be on holiday mode.
Yeah,
they'll think this time next week they'll probably be sat at home watching crap on the telly, whatever they do in their off season.
Yeah, can't go abroad. Could be interesting. So we're going with 2-1 for me, 2-0. I'm going 2-0, clean sheet. And 0-0 for you. So we've both gone for a clean sheet for Reading. It ain't going to end a clean sheet now.
No.
So what we're going to do is we're going to see how it goes. We're going to do a reaction. We'll record it on the Sunday, probably be with you guys on the Monday. This will be with you on Friday. So if you can go and follow us, please, on Twitter. We're going to follow everyone back on Instagram. If you go on our Twitter page, all of the links to all of our social medias are on there. TikTok, that's going to be a bit of fun where I will give Ryan, he could do it. He could be Charlie D'Amelio if he wants, or the Addison,
No.
Addison Ray. Anyway, or you could be Gary V. I love that bloke. If you don't know who Gary V is and you want someone to motivate you to do anything, go and watch him. Anyway, I'm going off on a rant now. So if everyone can follow us, go and look at us, and then if everyone can send us your questions for the next pod, what we'll do is we'll review the game and we'll go through some of your questions as well. If there's no questions, then we'll make them up ourselves. Please don't make it ourselves. Send us the questions. And then we'll look forward to hearing from you. So thank you ever so much for joining. It's been fun. Please tell us what we could do better, apart from camera or anything that we have to pay money with, because that's not for a long time. I'm skint. So anything you've got us that you would like us to talk about as well, please let us know. Give us any constructive feedback. And I look forward to hearing from you. Wave. Let's wave. If you're not watching the video, then we're waving at you. If you're watching the video, why are you waving back? Because we can't actually see you, you saddos. All right. Bye.